I'm quite hopeful that I can reuse this heel cap off the guitar. I've already scraped the glue off the back with a chisel, and that's nice and clean and flat. But there's some damage here to the veneers, and this purple one has got a piece missing. Now if I can just gently prise that away, if that will come off cleanly, and there's no guarantees of course. Could always try the eye on it, but I don't want to loosen the other veneer if I can help it. Just come away completely there. I'll do a bit of what my woodwork teacher at school used to call aerial joinery. It was considered a bad move. I'm going to just shave that off. It was considered bad form at school to chisel anything that you're holding in your hand, but the things this small, it's actually rather difficult to do some things in any other way. And as long as you don't have your fingers in front of the blade, that you've considered the safety aspects of what you're doing. What I'm actually doing is holding the chisel still and moving the piece. I think I've just removed the purple veneer and the glue from it. So I think I might be in with a chance of reaffixing that with a new piece of purple veneer in there and getting away with that. Ideally I wanted to reuse this heel cap because it matches the back. If I put a new piece in, it's going to be a different colour, not just because it's not aged, but it will be from a different tree, a different piece of wood. So this is actually a piece of the scrap wood from when the back was made, and it matches the back entirely. So it's good if I can reuse that. We'll see how it goes on. So the glue's now cured. I've removed the clamps and the masking tape, and I've lightly scraped some adhesive residue from around the guitar joint there, and I'm going to we'll be doing some finishing on the back and the sides there. But before I do that, I'm going to turn my attention to this heel cap. So we've taken the purple veneer out of there, and obviously now that heel cap is too short. So I've prepared some veneer here, so I'll just slip that in. You can still see that that's a wee bit too short. So maybe we've lost a bit of material in the cleaning up process. So what I'm looking at doing now is putting in two pieces. Get those in there, and that's starting to look like it might work with a bit of care. These pieces are way too wide, so I'm just going to give them a bit of a trim. So, whoops. Fiddly. Two veneers in there. So I'm going to need something to get that clamped in well with. Very tempted actually to use the strap button because the hole's still there. I might actually just do that. I think that would be a subtly good way of holding that heel cap down while the glue dries. It's got some glue in the hole there, so I'm just going to clean that out using the screw. As usual, I'll go for a dry clamping before I apply any glue into any of these joints. So the veneer's in place, heel cap in place. Strap on. Happy with the positioning there. I think what we've got is too much veneer. We'll just take one of those out if it will let me. It's really got that tight. something is preventing that going up close. We've lifted some glue and stuff on there. So the screw had pulled glue out of the screw hole, and it was preventing the cap going down properly. So what I'm going to do is actually try positioning this without the veneer and make sure it closes well. Looking good. One veneer too loose, and now 2 veneers too tight. Maybe yes, maybe no. Let's see. Of course, when you put adhesive on veneers like this, they do have a tendency to swell. Because I'm obviously going to put adhesive on both sides of each veneer, and they will absorb a considerable amount of moisture quite quickly, and that will make them swell. So let's see. I'm happy with that though. I think I'm going to get some glue on there and see where that takes us. Two veneers. One end cap. A little damp cloth, get the glue residue off there. Yeah, I think that's going to be okay. We'll let that cure and come back to it. I'm starting to properly clean up the back to sides joint now. So obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I've been around there scraping the residual glue off. I'm just going around with some 320 grit self-lubricating paper, and the original back was slightly radiused and it was done exactly like this when I made it. So I'm just going around there finishing off this this joint. We'll re-oil the whole of the back and sides. I've got a little bit of a, you can see, a little bit of an open gap there. We'll see what that's like when it's been cleaned up. I may have to fill it, I may not. What I'm also going to do when we get around to it is, on the back here, when I heated the back with the iron, there's some oils have come out of the rosewood there and left some blemishes. I am just going to lightly sand the whole of the back, again with this 320 grit, just to remove those blemishes. My intention isn't to go right through the existing finish, but to preserve as much of it as possible. Basically just flatten that surface back. I'll get more of that done once this heel cap is cured and I can clean those veneers up. So I've done a few things now off camera. So I've cleaned up the fingerboard and the frets with some fine wire wool and put a little lemon oil on there. I've flattened down areas around the sides joints here and the back with some 320. I've shaved down this veneer on the heel cap and sanded that back and cleaned that up. And I've given it all a bit of a wipe down. I've also very lightly flattened the soundboard with some fine abrasive. And what I'm going to do is put on a coat of Danish oil on the entire thing. That's also going to be quite tedious for you to watch, so I'm not going to video that at length, and I'll bring you back when something interesting happens. So here we are, having put a very light coat of Danish oil on the whole guitar. So see, oil the back there, and the sides, soundboard and bridge, and the neck, the heel, the head. One of the great things about oil finish in repair and things like that is you can sort of rejuvenate the finish so easily by just cleaning it and putting fresh oil on it, and it really brings the surface back. It's a really good thing. I'm going to put the strap button on. I'm going to cut a new scratch plate, put that on, and get it strung up. So here we are, all strung up and ready.